So we are, this is my twin axle trailer, car trailer I'm going to be building. You've caught me already doing some bits and pieces, so I've already sandblasted and painted the wheels or the rims and put some new tyres on it. I've also built a tow bar for the Vivaro and purchased a single axle caravan trailer which we took the caravan off of. I've painted the trailing arms and I've done both axles. These are 1500 kilo axles, so it gives me a gross weight of around 3 tons. I've yet to do some more work on the chassis, which you'll see later, and I've been busy making the axle extensions. So I've spent a couple of days doing the axle extensions. Because I haven't got the bending equipment or oxyacetylene, I've had to do it in steps, but it gives you an idea of how well they fit, and that's the undercarriage. Next thing will be to cut the axle there where the mark is, and then I've got to do 4 more of these structural supports for the inner chassis, which will be coming up next week. Right, we're on part 2 of the update. Both caravan chassis rails have now been rejigged, fabricated. They've not been stretched. This is just the A-frame now welded straight. So you got inner plate, seam welded both sides, second axle cut in. This is, that will be an under support, which goes sort of just like that for both sides. These are sized holes for the pressings in the structural steel plates, axle plates, because I can't do that. So what happens is that press bit comes through there, and then I've machined a thick washer, and that just fits over the top, just like that. Oh yeah, all the holes around the axle have been filled. That's what it looks like. Ooh. From the outside where it's been welded. As you can see, both axles have been stretched and welded. The inner plates have been made. They're free to move at the moment. They'll be welded in place when I actually put it all together, and I've got that position millimetre perfect with the alley. As on the other side, that's done as well. And the inner chassis rails with the steel have all been formed up for me. So that's that lot. So what you see in front of you here, all this steel, and that 60 by 120 there box section, £997. Steel has gone through the roof. The alley tread bar plate, 3 metres by 1.5 metres, that is £450, and that's delivered. Yeah, this is proven to be quite an expensive little project. Anyway, next update will be probably the chassis all put together. Cheers. Right, so this is part 3, and I'm now starting to put the chassis together. So this is the inner rail, outer rail, and we're all squared up. I'll be doing the same on the other side. This is so I can put, excuse me, weld these on. As I say, they're still floppy, but now you can see why I did that. they're squared up and clamped in place. And oh, the alley sheet is now all cut, and I did that with a skill saw. It come out actually perfect. So the one thing I will say is make sure the area you're going to cut, you spread some WD-40 on there, and then the cutter just glides over it. This is how it sits, just like that. And there's going to be this box section, the full 5 meters up there. It's going to run, so it's sort of half and half. That gives me an area then for extra coverage on the alley tread plate, and that makes the bed wider as well, without actually making the axles wider. So next one, part 4, will be everything welded up on the chassis. Then I've got to do the tilt mechanism. Cheers. So here we are with part 4 of the build. The chassis is almost completed. The inner and outer rails and the outer box sections done. The supporting cross members and the cross plates, that one there is done. That gives you an idea of the space between the tyre and the box section. For the tilt, all the back bits are now also equally reduced on the angle, as you can see. The under supports are all in place. That little bit of 20 wheel box section, as you can see, gives extra strength. So the next bit will be the tilt mechanism, which I've already started to do. Yeah, part 5 coming up. Okay, I think this is part 6, and this is the detachable A-frame and tilt mechanism finished. So this is my A-frame, which slides into the main tilt mechanism. I still need to machine the pins. There's one there and one there. These are tight fitting pins at the moment, so everything is accurate as possible. And I'll machine 19.5mm pins to make it a little bit easier. The tilt mechanism is on its own frame, and these are Chinese electric jacks, quoted at 3 ton. Yeah, right. 300 kilos, if anything. What I'll do is I'll show it lowered, obviously, as you can see, and then I'll show it raised. Now with the jacks raised, this gives you an idea of the tilting trailer. It sits flat on the floor at the back, and there the jacks raised up. It's quite simple really, just on 12mm machined swivel points. I've had to swap the jack motors round so they both face inwards, but that's how it looks, and that's the tilt mechanism. It's quite simple really. Oh, you can see the undercarriage supports, and it's probably an easier view of the sleeve. You just undo those 2 pins and the A-frame just slides out. So next, ramps for the back. Cheers. So this is the final update for the trailer. We'll start at the back, go to the front. It's all painted now in it's not primer, it's actually the colour. So the lights, they move out of the way to let the cars up. There's under support, you can see just there, and stands. They come down via the gas struts. The rear number plate comes off. Like so. It's just got a couple of alley collars on it. One there, one there. The ramps are held in place, and to stop any vibration or rattling, they've got it's a plastic sliding guides, and also rubber mounted at the front. The mud guards are fully detachable. I don't need to show that. There's the pins, you just pull them out. All the electrics are done, and it's the placement of the battery in there. That's a 100 amp fuse for the hydraulics. I tried the electric jacks and they're too delicate and they broke, so I've now just finished going hydraulic. These jacks take the trailer up. That's a tilt bed, the one's the tail lift pump, and the jacks are under there, power up and power down. The hydraulics will all be clamped up using pipe clamps. In there is all the electrics for the remote and all the power distribution, including all the lights for the trailer. The front, as you've seen before, is fully detachable, and I've got to do some tidying up on the hydraulics to make that hole a bit bigger, which I'll do the weekend, and then I'll clamp all the pipes together. And this is how it works. There are two ways to actually tilt the trailer. There's the push buttons, like so, or remotely. And then just shut the power off, and that's it, all done.